Alright, welcome you guys to the Big Shaker. Today we are going to experience an 8.0 earthquake.
The Big Shakeout is an event held every year to teach people how to be safe during an earthquake.
First few days are crucial. Have an emergency kit, have a plan, because an earthquake can happen just like that.
Have you gotten word about the Bay Bridge?
What about the Bay Bridge? What's wrong with it?
The upper deck appears to have collapsed during that earthquake.
Some parts of San Francisco took a big hit after an earthquake rocked the Bay Area in 1989.
The Bay Area is part of what we call the Ring of Fire. It's a set of countries and locations around the Pacific Plate that are quite earthquake prone. We have two major faults that pass through the Bay Area, the northern part of the San Andreas Fault and also the Hayward Fault that actually passes right through campus. This is a map of the Bay Area, and it's talking about different probabilities that an earthquake is likely to occur on that fault within the next 30 years.
In the Bay Area, most people know what to do when disaster strikes.
Drop to the floor now. During a large earthquake, the ground might jerk strongly and knock you down.
But has the technology advanced beyond drop, cover, and hold on?
The messaging that we have right now is still drop, cover, and hold on. And that's because it works. As we saw for the Christchurch earthquakes in New Zealand, people were able to protect themselves by taking that simple maneuver. And it's easy to remember, and people can do it.
And maybe call 911.
I don't know exactly what.
Is anyone injured?
Just wondering about that earthquake we just had.
Yes. Is anyone injured, sir? If not, I have to let you go. We have many 911 calls.
What about before an earthquake hits? A new company is working on ways to predict where the worst damage will be before disaster strikes.
One Concern's mission is to save lives before, during, and after natural disasters.
Ahmed came up with the idea of One Concern after living through a natural disaster.
I was stuck in a flood back in my hometown in Kashmir for 7 days in my home, waiting to be rescued. And I realized that there is no science behind figuring out who needs to be rescued in those first few moments, and it's very random. Initially, I assumed that problem is restricted to the developing world and to floods, and then when I came to the United States, I realized that problem was prevalent even in smaller events like Napa 2014 earthquake.
Immediately after disaster, we give you insights as to which structures are in what state of collapse. That helps you drive rescue and resource allocation, a lot of different things. You can help save lives, make the right decisions. That's during, after disaster. And pre-disaster, we also allow you to do mitigation and preparedness efforts.
This technology has an early adopter. Woodside, California was the first city to try One Concern, and they have seen the benefits right away.
And it's already opened my eyes to a couple things. In one of the simulations, it kind of identified a roadway down here that we think we're going to lose. Well, it's a main artery through into the district from our other town. And so what I did is I had to think of, okay, well, if that road goes away, what do we do and how do we get here? And so right away we developed a secondary and third way in and out.
Researchers are working on more ways to limit damage from future earthquakes.
Technology, however, has advanced in many other areas that aren't down to the individual response. We're working on different technologies to assign probabilities to what areas are going to be the most effective. And our lab works with a consortia of others, universities and the United States Geological Survey, on something we call Shake Alert, which is an earthquake early warning system.
But technology has its limitations.
We're not there with artificial intelligence, right? We're there where you give something a set of data, it's called a training set, and you teach the computer to learn to identify things in that training set. And you have to know, as the person who gave that training set, what everything in your training set is. And so the computers can learn to a certain extent, but they're not all-knowing at this point.
So it might be a while before we can fully rely on this new technology to help us in a natural disaster. This is Khaled Sayed reporting from UC Berkeley.